Did either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders pop off the page to you like there is a star in the making here?
No. I think that both of them looked right now like rookies.
Haters are losing their minds as Shedeur Sanders storms through Browns camp, leaving NFL vets Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett in the dust.
Shedeur Sanders wins the starting quarterback job in Cleveland, okay? And nobody's thinking that the Browns are going to be able to do anything this year. However, this guy comes in and he takes them to a 10-win season.
While critics still cling to outdated narratives, Sanders is rewriting the script with every throw. The numbers don't lie, and neither does the chaos he's causing in Cleveland.
And Sanders, 7 of 9, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
There is pure chaos and madness at Browns camp as a rookie leads. Veterans are jealous of him, and officials worry about their jobs.
The reasons that Joe and Kenny aren't so concerned about this alleged four-way quarterback battle is because right now they're so far ahead.
The biggest reality check for haters is that Joe Flacco may have the experience, but he is lumbering. Kenny Pickett flashes hot and cold. Dylan Gabriel, the Browns' higher pick, has struggled with consistency. Meanwhile, Shedeur is showing the kind of presence that demands attention, even from a skeptical coaching staff. He is proving that the Browns are a boring team without him. That's why Travis Hunter is asking all the haters to step down.
All the people down him, saying FCS this, his daddy saving him. Hey, y'all just watch him come out here and whoop one of y'all favorite teams, so.
In the Cleveland Browns OTA sessions, Shedeur went 7 for 9 with 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. A stat line that speaks not just of efficiency, but of surgical precision and poise under pressure. That is freakish efficiency at 77.8% with a perfect TD to INT ratio. On the other hand, Joe Flacco threw 9 of 14 with 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions, compiling a solid but unspectacular 64.3% completion rate. With him, the former first-rounder, Kenny Pickett, managed 9 of 16, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. It has a middling 56.3% completion rate. These numbers are making Shedeur Sanders' critics mad. So they decided to close their eyes in front of reality.
What are the percent chances each of these guys start week 1? I said Flacco 50%, Pickett 40%. I give Dylan Gabriel 9%. And I put Shedeur at 1%. And trust me, people were in my mentions like, what are you, crazy? He's our best quarterback. Of course he's going to start week 1. Like, oh my goodness, no.
Like, seriously? Shedeur gets the fewest throws in practice, and yet he manages to score more touchdowns than incompletions. That's not just efficient, but borderline disrespectful to the quarterback hierarchy.
If he is as good as all the people were suggesting he was going into the draft, second round at worst, bottom of the second round at worst, then when he gets his chance to prove that, I believe he will. And the fact that he was a 5th round pick could become irrelevant.
Sanders' performance is proving to the world that he should be drafted number 1 overall. His OTA sessions are stirring chaos in the Browns locker room, as they are seeing that this man is built for pressure and is the real deal. Shedeur is grinding behind the scenes, staying 2 hours after other QBs, diving into film, asking coaches questions, and putting in the kind of extra work that turns a raw pick into a franchise cornerstone. He is turning practice fields into highlight reels. He is not fazed by the politics, the rotation games, or the expectations, because he is focused on becoming a legend.
I've never seen a player in my time covering the Browns now for 3 or 4 years, a guy who gets more praise and more criticism, right? He gets both.
People are noticing his hard work and are gradually becoming his fans. Even veteran QB Joe Flacco himself has praised Shedeur's attitude and football IQ in the meeting rooms. The man also failed to hate Sanders, even though he is soon going to take his place in the Browns.
He's a young guy trying to learn some football and come out here and practice well and do those things. And like I said, he's been a lot of fun. I mean, he's come up to me and, you know, listen, I probably wasn't too far away from playing against his dad, and now I'm playing with.
NFL analysts and insiders are also with Joe Flacco. In fact, these analysts are not just casually tossing around praise for Shedeur Sanders, but they are practically ringing the alarm for the Browns to wake up and recognize what they've got. Because apparently, Browns are so busy in their politics and saving their egos that they are not seeing the solution to all of their problems. Nathan Zegura, one of the most respected voices around the Cleveland Browns organization, didn't hold back when evaluating Shedeur's performance. He emphasized Sanders' elite ball placement, noting how his passes not only hit the mark, but often land exactly where only the receiver can make a play. Zegura also praised his throw layering, a term that refers to the ability to modulate velocity, trajectory, and touch all in one motion, often a skill that takes years to develop at the pro level. For Sanders to be displaying that in his first few weeks of OTAS speaks volumes. It is not rookie behavior, but that is QB1 material.
And he understands the game. He has great instincts and feels for what the defense is going to do and what the offense is trying to do to that defense. And so it allows him to throw with great anticipation.
Meanwhile, former NFL player and executive Louis Riddick brought a more structural and strategic view to his analysis. Known for being brutally honest and analytical, Riddick said plainly, "If this competition is truly fair, Shedeur Sanders should be starting week 1. That's not a flippant opinion, but it's a challenge to the Browns coaching staff. Riddick's logic is clear. If you strip away draft position, ego, and politics, and just watch the tape, Shedeur is outperforming everyone. He called out the efficiency, the poise, and above all, the consistency of Sanders, arguing that many front offices are too slow to elevate talent simply because it comes from an unexpected place, like a 5th-round pick who just so happens to be Deion Sanders' son.
If he can compete with Dillon Gabriel, if he can compete with Joe Flacco, he can compete with Kenny Pickett, there's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with a level playing field, he could be your starter week 1, no question about it.
But who will explain this to ESPN? What started as a developmental project pick in round 5 is now raising serious franchise-level questions. Sanders didn't just crack the QB rotation, but he broke the entire depth chart matrix. Suddenly, the Browns coaching staff looked like they just found a diamond in the dumpster behind the draft war room. Meanwhile, resistance from the old guard was as predictable as a Browns injury report. ESPN's Matt Miller started panic-tweeting theories about Cleveland ditching Sanders and Dillon Gabriel for Clemson's Cade Klubnik in next year's draft, as if Sanders' breakout was some weird accident they should erase instead of embrace. When a 5th-rounder starts out playing million-dollar veterans, the best plan is to hit the reset button.
And their trainer, Daryl Corbett, definitely does a really good job trying to get him on the show to talk ball. But, man, listen, Shedeur we talked about it, Earl. He's talented.
Not only them, but you will find a lot of haters on social media whose life goals are to criticize Sanders. And none of their hateful tweets or comments had to do with Shedeur's football skills. No, it wasn't his pinpoint throws, surgical ball placement, or icy poise under pressure that they talked about. It was nonsense like, he wore headphones during meetings, as if the NFL has never heard of AirPods and multitasking before. Others clutched their pearls over the idea that Shedeur might be confident or entitled. Heaven forbid a young black QB with an NFL Hall of Famer, for a father believes he's actually good at his job. Let's be real. It is jealousy dressed up as character concerns. They weren't worried about his mechanics. They were mad that he had swagger, mad that he walked into the league with a story, a spotlight, and more buzz than some teams' entire rosters. He didn't just enter the NFL, but he entered with narrative armor, and haters couldn't stand it. So, what did they do? They painted him as Deion Sanders Jr., implying he was just living in his dad's shadow, riding on the coattails of Coach Prime instead of earning his stripes.
People hate Deion's path. People hate that he went out there and caught a whole wave. People hate that he signed his contract. People hate that he got his one son following him around with a camera. People hate that he didn't go through the traditional coaching path.
And then came the Rolls-Royce rumor, the ultimate "he's not humble enough" scandal. Twitter nearly combusted when fake news started swirling that Shedeur had pulled up to OTAs in a $500,000 Rolls-Royce like he was already a Pro Bowler. He swiftly denied it, but by then, the damage was done. Haters had already run with it, plastering his name across think pieces titled, "Has Shedeur Sanders ever faced adversity?" Ironically, he was literally the victim of one of the most brutal draft day slides in recent memory. But no, the haters needed something shinier than facts, so they spun narratives faster than Sanders spun that football. On top of this, the Browns officials are hesitant to acknowledge Sanders' worth. They have invested quite a lot of money in Joe Flacco. They have given him a one-year deal worth about $4.5 million. So, they can't see that money going wasted because a rookie decided to be a veteran. So, even though Joe Flacco is crying out loud that he is not a mentor anymore and he has nothing to teach Sanders, the Browns are not willing to see their money go wasted.
If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football.
Here, the Browns are not realizing that Shedeur's jersey sales already paid for his rookie contract. People are coming for him, and he has the potential and spark that Joe has lost. Then there is Kenny Pickett, the awkward trade acquisition from Pittsburgh. The Browns didn't break the bank for him as he's still on a rookie deal, but they did spend valuable draft picks to bring in a former first-rounder. That means someone in the front office made a bold call and probably pounded the table in a meeting yelling, "Trust me, he just needs a change of scenery." Now imagine the embarrassment of watching that same guy get torched in practice by a fifth-rounder with $1 million Instagram smile. Replacing Pickett with Sanders this quickly doesn't just hurt the depth chart, but it wounds the executive ego, and that's a pain they really don't want to feel right now. Kenny is also focused on saving his ego, so he repeatedly mentions Shedeur as an inexperienced college guy who has a lot to learn.
There's different footworks for each play, and I think, more of the under center stuff, I'd say the college guys have more questions about. It's just something new that they haven't done. Hopefully I can give them some good insight.
And that, folks, is why Shedeur isn't just fighting for a roster spot, but he's fighting a room full of egos who would rather pretend he's invisible than admit he's the best quarterback they've got.